What up, guys? That Comic Awesome here, doing another review, doing Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider #1. And this is part of the Damnation tie-in. And first off, let's just appreciate how great this cover looks. It's amazing. And that's the art in this is so much better than the last issue of Damnation. If you go back and watch my review of Damnation #3, you'll see that it's just so poor. In fact, I'm going to compare it once we get into it. But spoiler alert, if you haven't read Damnation #3, or if you just don't even care about it, and you just want to watch, but spoilers, this takes place after that, and obviously there isn't a major event there. So, I'm going to give you 3, 2, 1. All right, everyone's in. Welcome to the party. Johnny Blaze is dead. But this makes me feel better about that. And better to the fact that it almost twinkles and gives me hope that maybe, just maybe, this might become a series. So, the end of Damnation #3, Johnny Blaze confronts Mephisto, to which Mephisto releases him from his curse and pretty much pushes him out the window, and Johnny Blaze hits the concrete and is dead. So let's pick up right there. And this pretty much picks up right where it leaves off. So Mephisto's kind of smiling, and as Johnny's falling, he's pretty much already dead. But what it's done by releasing him from his curse is it split him and the Rider from each other. So they're kind of separated. And first off, I want to say this is what Johnny Blaze should look like. Kind of a little rough and tumble. Still kind of good-looking dude. Johnny Blaze should not look like that. What is this? Like a washed out... Again, I just think a British... look at this honker. He doesn't look like a motorcycle guy. He has a 90s butt cut, not kind of, present day biker tousled hair. That, and again, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't finished Damnation. What is this face? What is this? Look at this almost double chin that Johnny has. Who was the inspiration for this goober looking face? Anyway, you can watch my review of this crappy book more. We're going to talk about a good book. This. So, him and the Rider are now in hell. And in hell, it's either hurt or be hurt. So, you get some really kind of graphic things where, the Rider's being attacked and stakes shoved in its eye sockets. Another thing to notice, too, is Johnny wants the Rider back. And the Rider's kind of no. So it becomes clear that this is all part of the plan, which makes the end of this shit book so much easier to swallow. To know that, Johnny's death, not Johnny Depp, Johnny's death is worth something, that it actually wasn't cheap in any way, because it did feel cheap, and I think, that wasn't the only reason why I didn't like that book, but it definitely did not help. So here we are. It's now established that the plan was for Johnny to go to hell and take it over. So to do that, they need some help. And to do that, you have to, almost like prison rules, take out the biggest guy. And they kind of make the reference to take out the biggest guy possible, but not the biggest guy in stature, the biggest guy in sin. and that's, of course, this dweeby-looking guy, which they never say, but I'm going to go with some really pervy stuff that this dude did. Needless to say, Johnny kind of takes her. Again, look. Again, Johnny's a handsome dude. Not this dude. What is this? God, what is that? Anyway, so he tries to recruit some dead villains to help him take over Hell, but they're like, hey, we did a lot of bad stuff up top to get into this kind of cushy position that we're in down here. So, no, why would we want to ruin, we don't want to rock the boat any further. But since, you're probably going to fail, we'll draw you a map to your failure kind of thing. And so he has to go through 7 circles of hell, and then he has to face a room that is essentially the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the sum of all your, whatever it is you fear the most, that then manifests itself in a giant form, and you have to confront it. So as the kind of the road trip through hell begins, man, I'm kind of wondering what I should call this video. If it's either going to be Johnny Has a Plan or Road Trip Through Hell. Either one, I don't know. But so the Ryder and Johnny are kind of going on this road trip. The Ryder, again, kind of doesn't really have any skin in the game, but Johnny's trying to convince him that he does. He's like, look, if you want to punish all of these evil spirits, he's like, you will be able to if you just help me out. And there's even a really good conversation where the Ryder is like, look, I bring everything to the table. You don't bring anything to the table. And he's like, I kind of do. Like, I bring that feeling that, you're actually, you're actually able to, accomplish things and be such a badass. So they end up traveling through the circles. This is right here. This was the one part I didn't like. So back when they were with the villains, King Elephant, I think that's his name, was like, yeah, well, what's your plan? And they kind of explained to him. Everyone else kind of laughed him out, But here he is. He just shows up, but I don't understand where. So they're being chased by this big, murder truck. Johnny then finally convinces the Ryder to take him back. And Johnny is pretty much like, hey, it's like going home, even though the walls are covered in blood. It's my, my home with my walls that are covered in blood kind of thing. So they jump over the truck. They swing off of this, flying demon. Jump over the truck and then just land on this elephant. There's no kind of establishing shot to where he'd been following them or anything. He's just there and he kind of jumps on it. And so I was just kind of like, that was one thing that really kind of irked me about that. I'm going to skip ahead. And I'm not going to spoil too much, but I just like this one part. So they get to the room that has the fear, the thing you fear. And he says, I've died before, been in hell before. I've heard all the stories. I've experienced it, sure. But I was the only guy for the job because of this door. And he says, give me a second, buddy. So, the Ryder kind of subsides. And he's like, I gotta do this on my own. On the other side of this door is whatever you fear the most, and even if you're a spirit of vengeance. And then I like this. He just opens the door and it's empty. And he says, but there's nothing in this world or the next that I'm afraid of anymore. And it's he's like, I'm a kid of a hick carny who wound up saddled to a monster, gone up against the worst, and through everything through my time. And so he's just it's just such a badass thing. You open up the door to the thing that you fear the most, and you're just like, nah, dog, I'm Johnny Blaze. I don't fear anything. Again, gives me hope. This book really gives me hope that maybe we're going to see a legit Ghost Rider series. Now, that being said, Johnny did die here, but there's hope. But yeah, subscribe over here, watch some more videos, hit me up in the comments, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you next time.